live full-time in our Ford Transit high roof extended DIY conversion van, and it is time to spill the tea on the benefits of living in van life. First off, obviously, you get to be anywhere that you want, anytime that you want. You can go travel and see the country in more depth and in longer periods of time than you would if you were flying to a destination and spending only a couple of days there.
Yeah, right. So when you go, like, typically in travel, like, you fly in, you book your flight, you can go for, let's say, a long weekend, Friday through Sunday. So, cool, you got Friday through Sunday. You fly in Friday, you're tired, you get Saturday, you get Sunday. You really like the place, but crap, your plane ticket, you gotta go. So that's not fun. You pop in, pop out, you see the city if you're lucky. You know, right now we're doing this from Ajo, Arizona. It's a really cool place. We're gonna park here for like a week. We're just gonna chill here. But you know what? If people move in that we don't like, or we get bored of it, whatever, we're gonna head to Tucson or Phoenix or whatever. Like, we can stay as long as we want and explore it as in depth as we want or as little. It's pretty awesome. And then it's relatively low cost. I mean, we have a van payment, so like there's that cost, health insurance, which isn't fun, but you gotta have it. That's up for debate for some people, but like I don't feel like living without it. But you know, we went from 2 salaries to 1 salary. We're still saving money, and we got to see the whole US of A. And our dogs are happier too, which everyone like poo-poos on dogs and van life, but honestly, like,
it's a much better life for dogs. They get to be with us full time. They get to travel with us everywhere that we go. So really, we're getting to go see the US, and our dogs get to be there with us. And then they also get to spend a lot more time out in nature and go for a lot more walks and things like that with us. And what Andrew was saying, we needed less money to be on the road. So when we went into van life, I kept my job and we're fully remote, but he was able to quit his job. So we probably saved the same amount of money, if not even more, and created more income opportunities for ourselves in van life than we would have if we still were both working our 9-to-5 corporate jobs that we had previously. It's definitely given us a lot of opportunity to find our own way in making income, and then also not have to work as much to save about the same amount and get to travel for the last 2 years and see so much of the US.
So to recap on one of the benefits we think is you can kind of go wherever you want. Obviously, you have to afford the gas, which the prices suck right now, so that could be a limiting factor of how far you get. Finding parking, we like it out west a lot more just because, like, the places to park are easier to find and just more inviting. Beautiful scenery. You know, time of year does matter. You know, if you're skiers and snowboarders, you might need to build your van just a little bit differently, or you're going to consume fuel for your heater. Those things you got to consider. And then, we haven't done it yet, but you theoretically can van life on like 3 to 4 continents, or maybe 5. I don't know. I'm not really counting. Antarctica's probably off limits, but everywhere else is pretty much good to go.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends right now who are in other countries. We know like F&A Van, they're down in Central America. We know some other van lifers who are planning to go down to South America. They're in Central America right now, but they're going to ship their van.
Some in Europe.
Yeah, there's some in Europe. We know some who sold their van in the US and then went over to Europe and bought a van. We know people who have shipped their vans. So really, you can kind of go anywhere in van life that you want. We haven't really done that.
Australia next.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
So I think the next thing in van life is, you know, it forces a different lifestyle, and it brings, I think, some benefits and like changes mindsets and things. And that'd be like, it forces a minimalist lifestyle, and you know, consumerism is so rampant and what kind of makes the US go around, but it's not always healthy. It's not good for your checkbook, and it's not good for your mind. Sometimes you're always trying to think of the next thing to buy. Well, in van life, you don't have anywhere to store anything, so you pick and choose what you carry along with you a little more particularly than you would if you had a home. So, I mean, it allows you to have a simpler life, a little bit clearer of a head. It brings life back to basics, and it can make life calmer. I don't know.
It's
I
much
didn't
more
shop,
simple.
though.
Yeah, it's a much more simplistic life, and it really does make you pause when you're thinking about buying something, because you kind of have to say to yourself, like, do you have space for it? Like, where is this item gonna go, or what are you gonna get rid of? Like, if I'm gonna buy a new shirt or something like that, I might need to consider getting rid of things. So it's definitely a much simpler life. It was freeing, however, it was difficult when we got rid of everything, but it was freeing. I think a lot of people say to us, oh, it sounds so freeing to not have a lot of stuff. It does. It feels that way. I definitely think so.
Get a new t-shirt, get rid of a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Otherwise it won't fit in the closet.
Yeah, and it makes you really, like, kind of value what you have. You know, like, everything that we have kind of has either a really good quality for one specific thing, or is kind of has multiple functions and things like that. So really it's like a very streamlined lifestyle, and we focus on buying more quality things than quantity.
Yeah. And I would just ask viewers the question, if you went into your closet, how many items could you find that you haven't even worn in the last month or last year or a few years? Because everything in my closet gets worn probably at least almost once a week.
If not more.
If not more. If we're in warmer climate, okay, some of the sweatshirts and things don't get used, or the shorts. But, like, that's about it. Otherwise, every shirt's getting used. Everything's getting used. Like, there isn't things in here for super special occasions. Like,
right.
There just isn't room.
I think another thing for van life that was a benefit to us, and something that was important to us, and one of the reasons why we did van life, is my grandfather always said that travel is the best form of education. So in van life, I mean, you're seeing things that you didn't even know that you were seeking out. You know, you kind of stumble across things and you learn new things. You learn about new places. You go through a little town that you hadn't even heard of, and you stop for a little while because it seems cool, and you just get to learn new things. You explore it. There's just so many things that I think we have learned. And then aside from that, not just learning from the travel aspect, but van life also, some things come up on the road, problems come up on the road. And so, like, learning to problem solve and keep a calm head during adversity, I think, like, that's a huge benefit, is being able to go into a situation where you're uncomfortable and know that you're going to be able to get through it because you've done it so many times, and you kind of flex that muscle in van life.
Yeah, you're forced to flex the muscle, right? You, like, if you live your normal day-to-day life and you don't have any challenges coming your way, you're not really growing, because you have to get out of your comfort zone and be pushed to grow, right? And not every day in van life, but a lot of days in van life, you're going to be pushed to grow, whether you're meeting new people. You know, that's the fun part about traveling abroad sometimes. We haven't done it in van life, but I miss traveling abroad. I mean, the language barrier can be challenging and stressful at times, but, like, you're learning a new culture. You get to pick up on some of the language. I mean, I'm not a linguist, you know, and I'm not going to figure it out, but you learn the basics, you try to get by, and it's just fun. And you learn visual cues, and you have to operate with different, like, tools that you just don't normally have to use. And it's like an enriching experience. It can be stressful, but again, you're growing, like, you know, you're pushing yourself. And yep. I think that's fun. Like, I'm always looking for a challenge. Sometimes I don't handle them the best, but I do like a good challenge sometimes.
I think another thing that was kind of unexpected for us was how much we love the community of Vanlifers and kind of the nomadic community, I guess, in general. I think what we didn't realize, and a huge benefit to van life, is the community. They're just incredible. You'll meet so many people who you probably wouldn't have otherwise met, and you have something that's, like, already very much so in common. You kind of have a similar mindset, you have a similar background, I mean, in, like, that you're a minimalist, that you've gone through the process of acquiring a van, paring down everything, and then living in a van. So you kind of have this base layer of just kind of understanding, and then you get the opportunity to really get to know just a variety of people that, like I said, you probably wouldn't have known previously. I think a lot of the people who we have met and learned from and just gotten so much enjoyment out of, like, I don't know how we ever would have met them otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, van life's just a uniting factor.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a musician, but I certainly do enjoy music, and well, I guess there's a lot of free spirited people in van life. I probably am not. You wouldn't characterize me as that, but like we've met those people, and they're great to be around, and like we've ran into some sweet events where people were playing some awesome music.
Yeah.
And like the community comes together, have food, have music, just have a party.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome. So
yeah, and then like the caravanning and traveling, like we've definitely made some lifelong friends out of van life as well. That even after van life, I know that we're still going to be friends with them, and we'll go travel to see them in the same. But then there's also just like the caravanning. You come across people and you just want to hang out with them for a while, and it's so fun. You know, you have potluck dinners, you have dinners around a campfire. You all sit and watch the sunset together. You play board games. You go on hikes together. You go do new experiences. You know, maybe someone knows about a spot that they really wanted to see in this area and you had no idea, and so you also just kind of get this opportunity to see things through someone else's perspective, and you know, get to do things that they've thought of that you didn't know about but are really cool and enriching for yourself.
another big thing is just like going back to the creativity and new skills and learning experiences. If you build the van yourself, oh my god, you will have so much experience for life to come. Like we almost did a house flip, or we wanted to buy a house and maybe transition away from van life or come back to it. I mean, we weren't like quitting on it, but we felt like we could take on anything after building the van. Like this was quite the project. It took us 8 months to build it. We had to learn so many new skills, live in YouTube University, building at night, and just like the struggles and figuring out how to do it. And like honestly, the van is curvy. It's hard to like. It's harder to build a van than say a box truck, which we're thinking about building, or a house. Everything's square. I mean, like, you know, you don't have to like try to figure out all these edges and corners and just the challenge. So, and you know, so like you just learn so many new skills, and maybe you find that you like it, and then maybe that puts you into a career path, or at least just makes, you know, home repairs later on in life less scary or whatever. But like
you feel so much more capable.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that kind of goes back to what I was talking about with like the problem solving aspect of like being on the road. Like that kind of already, I mean, that definitely starts in the van build phase. So like if you're planning to build your van, like you will already have a lot of like opportunities to sharpen your problem solving skills. And it's really kind of cool. You just learn so much. We feel so much more capable than we definitely did before we did. And then also on the creativity train, you know, I think van life really gives you the opportunity to kind of like think about like what are you truly passionate about, kind of like what you were saying. Like maybe you'll stumble into some things that you really like and like be able to make a career out of that. I think that's kind of happened for us in a way. Being in van life, we had the opportunity to say yes to a few things, and that's kind of spiraled into some other like income streams for ourselves that I don't think, in fact, I kind of know. I mean, do you agree? Like we would not have come across
if we weren't doing van life, my consulting like business or consulting opportunities would have never happened. I mean, because I wouldn't have been available, no one would have called, and then I wouldn't have gotten to go work at a really cool company, and like, which just crazy enough was like my passion. Like I have an aerospace engineering degree, and like I love airplanes, but I've never actually tried to like work with them. And then all of a sudden this job comes about. They're like, you're the perfect person, and it happens to be like working with an air cargo handling company. Like it was so cool. Like I'm so thankful for that opportunity. And yeah, I think safely I could say without doing van life that opportunity would have never presented itself. So I think van life just manifests your destiny and allows for opportunities to happen. I think van life slows life down. I think when we were living in an apartment, life was a blur. I mean, weeks would just go by like that.
And then months and then years. I mean, it was like...
Yeah, it was just over. It's like, oh, we're another year older. Oh, we're another year older. I feel like van life has slowed life down in a good way. We've been doing this for 2 years, but these 2 years feel like 5.
Yeah.
Or more. Like, it just... And it's good. Like, we're savoring life. We're enjoying life. We're not just going through the motions and just, like, checking boxes. Not just going to work, coming home, getting a paycheck, running errands, paying the bills, rinse and repeat. Like, yeah, we have bills to pay. Yeah, we have to work. We have to do stuff. But, like, we're also seeing new and cool stuff every day.
Yeah, like, I think back to, so when we first started doing van life and up until, I mean, even just like 5 months ago, I was working full-time remote on the road. Now I'm not, but we were out by the Grand Canyon and I worked East Coast time, so I was done by like 2 p.m. And so I worked a full day of work, and then literally we went to the Grand Canyon that night and ate dinner and watched the sunset over the Grand Canyon. So, like, even on work days, maybe you'll be working or not, but we're still doing incredible things that just makes your weeks feel so much longer and so much more full.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so appreciative to have had life slow down. I mean, it brings more value. It makes life more enjoyable. It's more fun. It's a lot less stressful. I mean, don't get us wrong. Like, obviously, you have to have an income or some way to finance the lifestyle. Like, it's not like, oh, you just go and live and enjoy life and have, like, there's no worries in the world or anything. Obviously, there's still bills to pay. And we have it figured out. You know, luckily we've got good backgrounds and degrees, and we can make good money like when we need to, and you know, but now we're more so like working to live. Well, we live to work. I don't know how the phrase goes, honestly. Like, we're not forced to go to a job. We work when we want, what we want, as much as we need. You know, we're fortunate, but like, we're not overly tied to something. Like, if you had to go back to your job, it wouldn't be so bad because we could still explore everything. Maybe it's not exactly what you want to do, but like, at least it keeps things open. Where for me, I kind of have to work at a place. My job isn't super remote capable. It could be. I'm still trying to work on making that work and figure it out, but it's a little less possible. But I mean, those are all the things that you got to figure out and trade off, and there's no perfect answer for it. But I would say that the benefits that we've listed give a pretty good reason why you should try to make it happen for yourself and manifest it for yourself and jump off the end and do it. Like, for us, I had no idea what we were doing building the van, but we did know that if we successfully built a van, and we knew that we would, we took on the challenge, we knew we'd figure it out, hell or high water. It might have taken a really long time, but we knew we were going to do it. And so we knew it was a win-win. Like, okay, we still have our jobs, we finish a van, we do the van for a little bit. If we really, really don't like it, we can sell it. We wouldn't lose any money because the van market's pretty hot and people don't want to build their own vans. So, like, you'd at least get what you paid for it out of it, and then go back to living normal life, you know, but you tried it. Or, like, what happened for us is we love it. It creates a lot of opportunity, and it's a cool experience. And now we maybe want to upsize a little bit to a box truck, and we feel really comfortable to build one. Yeah. And so we might just transition.
Yeah, I definitely think, I mean, the fact that, you know, if you're watching this video right now, you're thinking about it and wondering what it would be like. So my advice is, if you are thinking about it and you are serious, do it. Don't let, you know, all the what ifs stop you. You'll work through those. Take them on one by one. But if you're seriously thinking about this and this is something that you thought would be cool, do it. Do it for a year.
Yeah. And there's economical ways to do it too. I mean, as you do your research, right? Van life is maybe a little more expensive than box truck life, or people who can schoolie, ambulance, whatever. Yeah. Like, if you really want to do it, there's a way to do it.
Get out of debt.
I would just say. So we'll wrap that up for our benefits. We hope we've convinced you to join the van life community, and hopefully we'll see you out on the road somewhere. So please like and subscribe if you like following us or hearing from us. There's plenty more content coming, and hope to see you again soon.